You want to find that drive and focus that has you locked in and on fire every single day? My book, The Mirror Motivation, will do it for you. I bought a copy for you. You take care of the shipping. The book is free. Click the link down there. I got you.
DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, workonmygame.com. Why Team USA was trash this year? Well, I mean, we know the general reason. It's because they lost. If you lose, you're not good. And they lost. But, I mean, they came in 7th, so, I mean, they didn't finish last, but they didn't do what we thought they would do, right? And we know that a whole lot of players didn't play, star players didn't play for Team USA this year. What I want to get into is why that happened. The thing is, these days, we're in what I call a like culture. We're in a liking culture. Because back in the day, in the 90s era of sports, NBA, even the early 2000s, before social media was the thing. Social media kind of, in the last decade, social media kind of became the thing. But even before that, the 2 eras before that, people were more willing to, I feel like athletes, whoever, were more willing to have conflict, confrontation, say and do things that maybe the public didn't agree with, but it wasn't that big of a deal to them because there wasn't so much immediacy in terms of the reaction, the response, the backlash, and they didn't have to hear it every single day as soon as they picked up a device from the people, from the masses. Nowadays, anything that people disagree with, they can let you know they disagree immediately, and you got this device with you 24 hours a day within arm's reach. So you're seeing this all the time. No matter what pro athlete try to make you think they don't pay attention to this stuff, everybody pays attention to it. If you got a huge following, you're paying attention to this stuff because all these people are reaching out to you, telling you what they think all the time. It's actually great market feedback if you're willing to listen to it. So since we have this like culture, I'm framing it so y'all understand, everyone, athletes, whoever, influencers, regular people, even if you're not trying to be famous, everybody is using these platforms, the social media platforms, as a way to make themselves look good, to make themselves look like a star, to do things that are going to get them liked. Things that make them look good, make them look like they about something, that they're doing something. Oh, wow, look what this person's achieving, look where they're going, look at these accomplishments this person has. This is all part of the liking culture. This is why you look on most people's social media. You look at an athlete, especially, what you want to see on their social media. You want to see pictures of them, videos of them working out, where, of course, they making every shot in their workout videos, or they crossing somebody over, or they doing a slow-mo or some nice move that they did. You're going to see them, people showing off their material possessions, not just athletes, it's everybody, showing off their material possessions, showing some things, anything that makes them look good, right? That's what people do. Everybody posts stuff that makes them look good, or at least what we think or we hope is going to make us look good to the audience. Everybody does this, whether you're famous or not. So here's the thing. I think a lot of in the NBA, going backwards, in the NBA there are fewer than, I would say, maybe 8 guys in a whole league whose their very presence on a Team USA situation makes the difference between winning and losing. Maybe 8 guys. And they're not even all Americans, so they couldn't play for Team USA. I would say people like KD, Kawhi, James Harden, LeBron James. I would say those 4 guys. Who else we got? You got Giannis, but he can't play for you. He's not American. Steph Curry is one of the best players, but I don't think Steph Curry's presence would have been the difference between winning and losing. Personally, I don't think so. And I'm not sure there's anybody else. I think that's it. Maybe somebody like a Joel Embiid. He's not USA. Ben Simmons, no, I wouldn't even put Ben Simmons on that list. He's not USA anyway. Paul George, I don't think Paul George is the difference between winning and losing. I don't. Russell Westbrook, maybe. Maybe. He's kind of borderline. But that's it. That's it. So this is the thing. When we knew that those players weren't playing, now the NBA started going to, or Team USA started going to all these other players who might play for Team USA. And all these other guys, this is all just my assumption. I don't claim to be able to read these guys' minds. But all these other guys looked at the situation, they said to themselves, okay, I know that my presence on Team USA is not going to change the outcome, because they saw Harden's not playing, Anthony Davis not playing, Kyrie's not playing, LeBron ain't playing, Kawhi ain't playing. Those are the guys who, if they play, all right, we got a damn good chance of winning. They didn't play. So these other guys, these lower second tier, third tier, fourth, fifth tier guys looked at the situation and said, all right, if I play, is that going to be the difference between winning and losing? No. Are we still going to lose? Are we still not going to come in first, whether I join the team or not? So why do it? What do I gain? I think this is what the players are looking at. What do I get from playing on Team USA? And yes, we all know that the players can get the experience. You get to play in a big game. If you're on a losing NBA team, you can play on a winning team finally, or in some games that matter. Even if you don't win, you play in some games that's like playing in the playoffs. For players who never play in the playoffs, that matters. And you could be a pivotal player maybe, and you have players who don't even start not playing for Team USA. So we know all these career benefits that can make players' games better, but I don't think players really think that way these days. I don't think they do. I think led by people like LeBron James these days, Kevin Durant these days, who I think we can all agree, and I guess Kawhi also, are two of the best players. At least those are the two best that like talk and they're all out there. Kawhi doesn't say much. These guys' whole thing these days is not about how can I make myself a better basketball player. When the last time you heard any of these guys talking about making themselves better as a basketball player? When they're talking in public, what are they talking about? Building my brand, building my legacy, starting my business, getting my name out there, everything other than playing basketball. And I'm not saying necessarily that's a bad thing. I don't think it's a great thing either, but that's for a different video. This is the thing. Every player is following these guys' leads these days. As I said, we're in like culture. We're also in follow culture because everybody's either liking or following. So a lot of these players are following the lead of these two guys, LeBron and Kevin Durant, and everybody. A lot of players try to act like they're cool. They're all cool with each other. You see them taking pictures together and all this shit. That wasn't happening in the era before this, the Iverson era. That wasn't happening in the Kobe era. That wasn't happening. The 90s era, that wasn't happening because we didn't have these devices. And the culture wasn't the same. So nowadays, everybody wants to look like they're cool with each other. So they're following the leads of these guys, LeBron and Kevin Durant. And what is LeBron and Kevin Durant talking about most of the time when you hear them talking? My brand, my business, my likeness, my team, my investments, my legacy, everything other than my basketball skills. So these other players who are not as good as them are looking at it and saying, okay, my presence is not going to make a difference between us winning and losing. So if I go over there, am I going to look good? Is this going to help my brand? Is it going to make me look like a star? Is it going to get me more likes on social media? Is it going to get my fans to look at me and think higher of me? Or is it going to get my fans to look at me and think lesser of me? I think that was the key thing, maybe consciously or unconsciously, that a lot of NBA players thought about when they decided to turn down the opportunity to represent the United States. Is it going to make me look better or is it going to make me look worse? Because I don't think me getting on the team is going to be the difference between us winning and losing. So it's probably going to make me look worse. It's going to get me laughed at. I might be the subject of a meme. My fans going to look at me like, damn, you was on the team and the team lost. Like, what'd you even do it for? What do I get? And here's the alternative for the players who decide to stay home. They don't lose. They don't look bad on the national stage. They can stay home and they can post their pictures and their workout videos with their trainers and take flicks with their friends looking good in their outfits and stand next to their cars or in their houses and do their vacations or take a picture with their girl. They can do all these things to make them look good and get them more likes and get them more fans and get them more of a social media round of applause, and they don't have to risk anything. There's no risk that they had to put up by staying home, working out in the empty gym with their trainers and taking pictures with their friends or next to their car. They had nothing to lose by doing that. But if they go play for Team USA, they got a lot to lose because people are going to see them. And also playing in that international game, the playing style is different. The rules are different. The referees are different. You might not even play that much. You might be buried in the rotation. That's a possibility for a lot of these guys because some of these dudes don't even start in the NBA. So there's no guarantee that they was going to play a big role on this USA team. So there's all these things they could possibly lose. There's things they could gain, but there's all these things they could lose. But if they stay home and just keep working out and posting their videos and Instagrams, what do they lose? Nothing. There's no risk. So that's why I think so many players were willing to turn down the Team USA opportunity nowadays, whether they played for them before or not. Is really that everyone these days is not looking at it like, what can I do for the country? Oh, hell no, nobody gives a damn about that. Or what can I do that's going to help me be better for my team next year? I don't think too many players even consider that much. Because if you really consider that, then a whole bunch of players should have took the Team USA opportunity, because all it is you getting game repetitions. And what do I've been telling players for 10 years. You want to get better at playing at games, you got to play in games. You can't get better at playing in games by working out by yourself. You're not going to get better at playing in games through working out with your trainer and getting shots up and the shit that you see on social. You don't get better at playing in games by doing that. You get better at playing in games by playing in games that matter, where something's really at stake. If you're not playing in games where there's something really at stake and you really got to go, then that's not going to get you better. So all these players would have got better for all these players would be better employees for their NBA teams by playing in Team USA. Team USA will make all of these players better. So why didn't they do it? Because they're not thinking about being better for their teams. They're thinking about what's better for me. What's going to make me better? What's going to build my brand? Why? Because I believe all these players are following the leads of the top guys. What is even Kawhi? For winning purposes, I think staying with the Raptors might have been his best option. He chose to go to the Clippers so he could be closer to home. And I think Kawhi wants to build his brand just as much. He don't talk about it as much. So maybe it's not as big of a thing for him, but I think it matters to him as well. But the top two guys that do the most talking, KD, LeBron, what are they always talking about? Building my brand, building my legacy, building my business. I can do what I want to do. We're taking control of our destiny. We do what we want. The teams can't tell us what to do. The owners can't control us. They're all talking about, what are they talking about? Me. The whole culture is me, me, me. And I'm not saying that this is a bad thing. I'm not saying that they're wrong. What I'm saying is this is just my observation. And because we're in this light culture of everyone wanting to be buddy-buddy and everybody following, and not too many people saying, you know what, everybody's doing this, but I'm going to do this. Everybody's doing what everybody else is doing. So that's why these lower players who are not at the status of a KD or LeBron are still doing things following the lead of a KD or LeBron, even though they haven't done anything to even be thinking that way and talking that way. So that's my observation of how Team USA ended up being trash, because these dudes, KD, LeBron, they've achieved enough to say, you know what, fuck Team USA, I'm good. They didn't say fuck it, but you get what I'm saying. They turned it down and it didn't matter because they've done these things. Whereas these other guys who have not done it, they're turning down Team USA. I'm like, yo, what have you achieved? You haven't achieved anything to be turned down Team USA, but they did it because they're following the leads of these other dudes. Whereas I believe in previous eras of basketball, that wouldn't have happened. In previous eras, players would have been like, well, yeah, they're not playing, but shit, I'm playing. I haven't done what these guys have done. I haven't achieved what they've achieved. But now you have players who are talking like they've achieved when they haven't because they're following. So that's my take on why and how Team USA ended up being trash. How does this change? I think we're going to need a new era. I think in the next era of basketball players, which I think is slowly getting ushered in as a KD and LeBron get older and a new era of players come in, then I think something new will happen. Because what happens in culture in general, for those of you who never thought about it, the next era always rebels against what the previous era did. So whatever this era is doing, the next era is going to do something opposite just because that's what we do. Well, you look at your parents, however they are, you start doing the opposite because you start to realize, I'm different from them. I want to be like my parents. I want to do something different from what they did just because this is what we do as human nature. So that's how it happened. You let me know what you think in the comments. Work on your game. Dre all day.